Well, good morning, everyone. It is Thursday and not Wednesday. I was nursing a headache all day yesterday, so I wasn't in the best of moods to do a video, if you know what I mean. Anyhow, I did not do what I was supposed to be doing to get ready for Friday's market. But on the same note, I wasn't like over anxious about doing it because I have so much stuff. But there were a couple of things that I really did need to remake, and I need to go get my drink. I will be right back. Anyways, as I was saying, there were a few things that I needed to remake. Some of them I got to, some of them I didn't, because, you know, I have this thing about trying patterns, and I did a lot of that. Well, not a lot, a few of them. So, okay, of the items that I needed to remake, I did the rubber ducks. These ducks are made from a free pattern off of Instagram, and it is by Amateur Hour. I will link to her Instagram, not the actual page, because those links for some reason end up broken and don't work after a little while. So I went back to my end of market little video clip to see what colored ducks I had left, because that was easier than digging through the bags and trying to find it. And I had pink and peach, coral, whatever, peach I think it is. So I decided to go with greens and blues. So the kiwi, I believe this is Caribbean, and mint. So 3 colored ones. And then I did 2 yellow. These are done out of Premier's Chenille Brights. Very bright and colorful. Most of the time, I really enjoy working with that yarn. Most of the time. Every now and then, as with any other yarn, you get a bad skein and it makes it miserable to work with. But for the most part, most of the time, I really do enjoy working with that yarn. So the next thing that I needed to remake was chicks and eggs. I only had 2 left. All the yellows had sold. Well, I made 9 chicks, but I don't have 9 eggs. I was able to get 4 completed. And for some reason, I feel like I'm losing my voice. For some reason, the egg part itself seemed like it was coming out really big. So I left off a round on the bottom part. Otherwise, it would have just swallowed up the little chicks. So I decided, I did pulled from my scrap bin to make the chicks. And I have three shades of yellow. Mystical, not sure what shade of burnt that is. And this one's kind of like a mustard yellow. These were just in the scrap bin. So I have 2 of each of these. And I'll probably, since I only have 4 eggs, I don't know that I'll get to any more eggs before tomorrow, because I have a couple of other things that I would like to get done. That may or may not happen. I just lost my train of thought. But I did pulled from the bright bin, and I did do some colored ones just to test the waters and see what will happen with that. So maybe, I think maybe I need to get at least one more egg done. So I have 5 chicks that do not have an egg. And that pattern is one of my, actually is my best seller at market, since I think it was in March that I added everything into Square to try and track the item sales. And since March, and I know I sold a ton of them before March, that one is my #1 seller, quantity-wise, not dollar-wise. So we have the chicks and eggs. That pattern is by Cozy Hooked Creations. And of course, they'll all be linked, so you don't have to look far. Tripod sinking. I repositioned it because it was looking weird and I can see it sliding down. So I'm going to pause and do something to this tripod to get it to stop sinking. Okay, hopefully that stops it. I wrapped some tape around the one section that wants to slide. Where was I? Oh, yes. One of the other things that I was able to complete that I needed to remake, we sold plants on a swing. So I was able to get 2 of them done. And on both of them, this one is the spider plant and this one is the agave plant. Both of them I used the artichoke green. That seems to be the first color to sell, believe it or not. I really like it on here, but I also really like how the brighter colors look too. So I did both the plants in the same green, but I used ruby for the pot and the string, and I believe this one is hot pink. So we got 2 of those done, and these are from the Itty Bitty Hanging Plants package, and that is by Minnie's Crochet Friends. But they're pretty cool. So we did 2 of those. I would have liked to have done more, but you know, sometimes we're just not into it. I didn't show any of you guys any of these next to the cam. Okay, here's the plant. The chicken egg. Like I said, the egg really seemed to come out bigger this time. A lot bigger. And then, oops, the rubber duck. So we have things flying here on the table. All right. So while we were at the market, I had this lady looking at the swings, and she asked if I had a cat on a swing. And I was like, I do not have a cat on a swing. But Heather from Cottontail Crafts by Heather, she's been making, oh, excuse my voice. She has been making these little cats. It comes in a package, like 16 different things in the package. Little Critters, the Perfect Pack from Poggy's Place. And you get all these different little cats in it, but you also get all these different little accessories. And one of the accessories is a cat bed, but then she alters the cat bed and turns it into a swing. So I thought, okay, let me try that. So here's a cat on a swing. Now I used Parfait Chunky for all of this. And then I did another one, and I'm not too sure about my color choices on this. I used Carrot Orange, and yeah, it's a little more orange than an orange cat would be. But hopefully some kid or somebody will love it. They come out very tiny in Parfait Chunky. But at the same time, I am very fine with that because I'm doing it for the car swing. Now, I don't know what all the rest of the accessories are in that package, but I mean, they're easy, they're quick, a little more simplistic than I like, but for something quick. And Heather sells the heck out of them. So, not in a swing, she just does the cat. But there's enough stuff that you could probably put together a cat bar and let people pick and choose their accessories and stuff. I mean, there's definitely some potential there with that pattern package. So we did those two. And then I had to make some other cats, because I just love cats. And when you find a pattern that you like, you can't help yourself. And this is so easy. So this is I believe it's the Perfect Kitty. I don't remember what it's called. It's the pattern from Pammy Dolls. So you get 3 different like color patterns in it to make 3 different looking cats. But of course you can play around with that and change the colors and get all kinds of different looking cats. So the first one I decided to make was an orange, but this is mustard, but orange and white. And I'm so paranoid about sinker eyes that I just used the plain old regular black eyes on this. So this one, I used 12 millimeter. And after the fact, I thought, oh, they need to be just a little bit bigger. But I didn't think that till after I made a second one. And I was trying to do like a Tote. And I'm not sure. But it's black and orange, kind of, or black and mustard, I should say. And this one also got the 12 millimeter eyes. Now, I will say, because I was just throwing random color changes in here, I kind of got lost a little bit because, the pattern tells you where to color change, but I was just throwing some in, leaving some out, just kind of winging it. And yeah, I got lost a couple times. So that was one I definitely had to go through and like check off each row, each round as I did it so that I didn't get lost. So we did those 2. And then I decided I need some solids. And on the solids, I went up bigger on the eye size. So I started with a white cat. I gave it 14 millimeter eyes instead of 12s. See the difference? I like the bigger eyes on this a little bit better. Not huge, not ginormous, but just a little bigger. And after I did the white one, I decided to go with a gray one. And then I was going to move on to a black one, but then I was like, okay, I need to move on and do something else because I have other things that I really need to get done. And that's when I started on like the rubber ducks and stuff like that. So I just have today and a little bit early in the day tomorrow if I need to make anything else. I do need to make a couple of bees, and there was something else. Now I don't remember. Bees and come on, you guys, what was it? Bees. Oh, and Myrtle the turtle. I only have 2. I mean, it wouldn't be a total loss because I would have some to go to market if I don't get to it. But again, Myrtle is in my top 4 sellers. So it's like one of those things I don't want to be out of. So I'm going to have to. Bees are quick. Myrtles are fairly quick. So I think I'll start with Myrtle, maybe. And get 2 or 3 of those made, and then maybe move on to the bees. So one of the other things that I wanted to get made is some of the skull heads. Now, I took them to market last time, and I had 4. I sold 4, but they all went to the same person. So I'm not sure if that justifies me thinking they're going to be a good seller. So I pulled out that pack, and don't you know, I didn't make a single one. Not a single one. I played with some of the other patterns in that package. And this is the Little Critters Sweet Spookies by Poggy's Place. So I just started going down the list. There's like 2 files in the thing that I bought. It's got like 19 patterns in it. I would just started down the list in the one that came with the sugar skull. So I'm pretty sure that the mummy was first. And it was quick and easy. Now, these actually turned out a little bit bigger than I thought. And I did use the Chenille Brights because it gave me color choices, where some of the other yarns, like Perfect Chunky, just would have been too small. The plush, I only ordered a small amount of orders on because I wanted to try it out before I invested a ton of money. And then, of course, I don't have much along the ways of Bernat. So, not to mention, I don't really want to use the Bernat. So, Chenille Brights it was. And this one is sand for the skin tone, and the antique white, I think it's called, for the bandages. But I think it turned out pretty cute, and it was pretty quick. Then the next one I think that was on the list was, oh, here I go again, not showing you. So they are a good size. And the next one on the list was a vampire, and he's a little fatty. And he is a really good size. Actually, I'm pretty sure that it's the cape that's making him look really chubby. This one took a little bit longer because you have the cape and there were more color changes in it. But it was still really easy to do. Like the red trim is a slip stitch along the top of that. I have got fluff everywhere. Sometimes, you know, the lint roller just doesn't do it. You need a tiny little bit of acrylic to embroider the mouth and to make the string for the cape. But it's got black. I used Parfait Chunky for this part. I think that was caramel. No, not caramel. Cardinal. But the black, the white, the antique white, gray, that is all Chenille Brights. But it's kind of cute. And I know, I said I am not going to do a lot of Halloween stuff. And I'm not. I really am not. But I was feeling deprived because I wasn't getting to make all the fun stuff like everybody else because I don't want to get stuck with it. So I decided to make a couple. So we got the mummy and the vampire. Then I think it was this like swamp creature. For monsters, the only thing I can relate it to was there was this movie when I was a kid. Oh my gosh, it is so bad. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's older than I am because I was a young kid when I saw it. But the costume was so bad, you could see the zipper on the back side of the costume. It would be a cool one, though, if they ever remade it. I mean, I don't know if they have or not, but it would be a cool one if they ever remade it. So this one was really easy. You just had a couple of rounds of color changes. You embroider little eyebrows. This is surface crochet. And yeah, that's it. This one was easy. He's different. So then I think it was this pumpkin. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be. Some kind of pumpkin. But again, he's a good sized. A little bit of color changing in there. You have like 4 stitches of white and you're done with white. This part is done surfaced crochet. And then you just have to embroider a mouth. And I believe I used 14mm eyes with all of these. So then the next one on the list would have been like a full skeleton, not just a skull. And this one was interesting to do. So he's looking a little squishy lopsided. Let me see. No. That's a little better. But he's cool. The teeth part, this here is done basically the same way as in the skull. And this is embroidered. Very easy. And again, they are a good size. So those 5, plus the sugar skulls, and there's a couple of different versions of the sugar skull, like for the decoration with the top hat, the bow. There's a flowered headband. There is just embroidering on it. So, I mean, you get a lot in the patterns. So then I decided to open up the second file and see what is in there that I like. And there were a few, and then there were some, it's like, I'm not even going to bother wasting my time with that one. But I only made one, and then it was like, it's time to move on. I made the little devil. It's kind of a cutesy devil. Now this one, I think, it's less round, so it's definitely smaller. I mean, the size compared to the vampire, it's definitely smaller than the other ones. But again, there's a whole bunch more in this package that I haven't even gotten to. I'm not sure that I will get to, but if you're looking for quick Halloween makes, this might be a pattern to consider, a pattern package to consider. So I only have one more thing that I was working on. And who did I see? I had like bookmarked this pattern because I was thinking about it. Because it comes from a designer that I have not been very successful at selling their patterns. Not saying that there's anything wrong with their patterns, just that I have not been successful. And the type of ones that I bought from her might be something that just isn't meant for my area. So there's actually a couple of designers that I don't do well with their patterns when I make them. And I think they're so cute, and it just kills me. They come out with lots of new stuff all the time, and I'm very skeptical about trying them. But anyways, I bookmarked this pattern, and I sat on it for probably a good week thinking about it. Do I really want to get it or not? Because I have it in the back of my head that, the patterns don't sell from this designer for me. But this one is different. It is really different. And let me tell you, this was challenging. But what an amazing end result I got. It's so good. So I started using one of the Bernat dappled colors because it had like that stony marble type look to it. So I will say this is a very challenging pattern. And if you are new to crocheting, this pattern is not for you unless you don't mind some frustration and you really have to think and pay attention to the pattern. She writes hers different. That's all I'll say. Her format is different. It's not like 2 single crochets and an increase times 6 equals 18 or whatever. It's just, you have to definitely read her legend and her map, her key and all that stuff to understand how to read her patterns. So anyways, enough talking. Let me show you this baby. First off, look at that face. OMG. So this is a gargoyle. Now on camera it looks really big. It is not really that big. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger than it is. This thing is cool. Now the parts that I struggled on, one is just me. The horns, starting in 3 or starting in 4 is not my favorite thing. My fingers just cannot deal with it. So the horns were a struggle for me. These claws, oh my goodness. This was different, but once I got the hang of it, I was okay. Once you get past these, this is the big challenge, or the biggest challenge, in my opinion, in this pattern is the hands and the feet, the claws. So I did take my time with this because now I got an end there that I missed. I wanted it to be good. And I think it is good. Now, she says, there's my little end I need to clip right there. She says to use a 30 millimeter eye. I used 25. And I think they turned out the perfect size. But I crochet very, very tight. So, and then I yarn under. I'm not sure if she's an under or an over person. So, yeah. It was so cool how the mouth was formed and so easy. You will need at least a dozen stitch markers to do this pattern because you're going to mark a bunch of back loops. And then 2 colors of yarn, an accent color and your main color. But this dappled, see what I mean? It kind of has that stone type, marble type look. I just thought it was the perfect color. And let me tell you, my hands the next day hurt really bad. So that's another reason I didn't get done, later, because I had extra time in this between videos to be able to make more things, but I just didn't get that much done because I was moving very slow. I mean, it looks like a lot, but you got to keep in mind, This is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is 5 days worth of work. So when it looks like it's a lot, when you break it down by the day, it's really not. And most of them are small. Like the ducks are quick. The chick part of the chicken egg is super quick. Egg takes a little bit longer. Those swings are pretty quick. Those cats are pretty quick. Those little Halloween guys are pretty quick. This took me the whole day. But like I said, I was taking my time because I wanted it to be right. I just wanted it to look good. And I think it looks really good. Anyways, that's what I got made. I never do what I say I'm going to do. I said I wasn't going to make any more new stuff. Well, no, I didn't say that. I said if I made new stuff, I wasn't going to add it to my market bags. So, but I think I'm going to take the little Halloween guys. The gargoyle, I'm going to wait. I think. We'll see. But I am going to add these little Halloween guys to my market bag. And of course, all these other ones, they're replacement items. The only things new are the gargoyle and the little mini monsters. So that was the other thing. I want to do 2 sugar skulls, one with the bow and one with the top hat. I'm writing it down so I don't forget. And probably 3 or 4 bees. I think I only have 2 or 3 left. Couple of rainbow, one. And it's funny, the black and white one, I forgot to put a mouth on it. Black and white, black and yellow. I forgot to put a mouth on it, so I need to pull that out and stitch a mouth on it. And one of the rainbow ones, I noticed somebody picked at the mouth. So I need to work that back in or pull it out and just give it a new mouth. So 3 myrtles, hopefully, 2 sugar skulls, hopefully, and 3 or 4 bees. 3, 6, 9. I think I can get it done. I'm in the process of charging all my lights right now for tomorrow. I had to wash all my tablecloths and everything because everything got wet. And just so you know, I have not tried to repair the dinosaur yet. But my Sanderson sister, which was the blonde-haired one, is the one that was damaged. She's a total loss. I put her in a baggie, like a laundry sock baggie type thing, and threw her in the dryer, and somehow she got herself out of that bag. The eyes are all scratched up. She's got, you can see where the colors were bleeding, which I have not experienced that except with Poppy. Like, Poppy will turn my fingers and my fingernails red if I work with a lot of it on the Parfait Chunky Poppy. But I hadn't noticed that with any other colors. And there's discoloration on her hair, on her face. It did not survive. And I'm not making another one. So if anyone asks, where's the other sister? I'll just be like, oh, that one sold already. Super bummed about that because I was really thinking that if they sold, they would sell as a set. The set of 3, possibly 4 with Billy, but at least a set of 3. I really thought they would go as a set. Now, the best one out of all of them, of course, is Winnie, the redheaded one. You know, Bette Midler's character. That one turns out the best. I mean, like, you can really tell it's her. That doesn't mean I want to make another one, though. But if I ever were going to make another one, that would be the one. Anyways, I need to get going because, you know, I got a lot of things to do. And we'll talk on Sunday.